Okay, I don't have a cameraman or camera woman, so I'll do the best I can. And this is a tailor, and I had to replace 8 frets, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The ninth one is the original. And I like to put wood glue in the fret slots. And most guitars made these days don't have any glue in the slots. I like to put wood glue in the slots because when you're tapping the frets in, the wood glue will ooze out the side of the fret. And that tells you how far down you're going, and that because if it oozes out equally all the way across, it kind of tells you that you've gone down equally. But then you can look at the side and see how it's seated and tell. And then if you needed to tap it down more, you'll see more glue oozing out. And the wood glue also acts like a wood filler. You know, it fills in the air gaps, because air gaps are sound absorbers. So the vibration and the frequency and the sound can get dissipated if there's too much air in the slot. So I like to fill the slots with wood glue, and that allows the vibration and the frequency and everything to go from the fret through the wood, through the glue to the wood. I've replaced frets on guitars, or reseated frets, where this fret I would reseat and I would use wood glue, and the notes that you played on this fret sounded so much better, more sustained, more tone, than the frets that were not reseated. So there's proof right there that it makes a difference. And also, some people like to use super glue in the slots. When you use super glue, it hardens very quickly. And I don't believe that the super glue will puddle and harden like the wood glue does. So I don't believe that the super glue or CA glue would act as a good vibration transfer material. So, and plus, after you hammer in the fret, once there's 3 frets that are reseated, you use the fret level and you teeter it on 3, click, 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 to see if the frets are level. If the frets are not level, you want to tap in the high parts to level it. If you use CA glue or super glue, you cannot tap them back in. If you do, you break the glue joint. Then, why bother using super glue? But I put 3 frets in before I could start checking the levelness. And that's, I don't know, 5-10 minutes or so. So, and then if you have the wood glue in there, in that amount of time, the wood glue has not hardened yet. So you can see the wood glue oozing out, and that also confirms that you've put the fret in deeper into the slot. And then the fret level will tell you if you're level. So when I do this, I'll check. Now see, these are new frets. Is it there? Little teeny tiny wiggle, and that's acceptable. Little tiny bit there. Sometimes like right on the end, it'll be a little uneven. Sometimes if you start hammering it in here, you might actually change the height over a tiny bit. So you kind of go with, you work on it, and then you just stop, because you can actually spring the fret. If you hammer it or press it too many times, it'll flip up. But this, for putting in new frets, this is very level. This way, when you go to level them with the file, or diamond, dust, stone, as I use, you don't have to take off much at all to make it level. Now here is where the original fret is. No, not there. Here. See that? I have to blend in the new taller frets into the lower frets, the original frets. So you have to blend it in. And it takes a long time to lower a fret, unless you're using a super coarse file, which I don't recommend because really coarse files leave deep scratches. And then you have to remove those deep scratches. So once you use a coarse file and you go, oh, it's level now, yeah, okay. But then you have deep lines that you now have to level out. So you're just best off using like a diamond dust or a not so coarse file, and then sand it all later. So, okay, so alrighty then. Good day.